Okay, whenever you go on a talk show, they generally have already taken notes with each other what they're going to discuss, perhaps even in the same order. And you can see this guy on the right here with the apricot shirt on with a card. Now, they even professionally print these on the back of the card. And so he can just read them right off in order and things like that. This is a very telling thing, something that really wasn't put out in public, something that he didn't really want to know. But as things came out, he decided he would say something about it. You can tell Kurt Russell in the middle knows what's coming up. Perhaps the man on the left doesn't. But this was earlier this year on a UK talk show, and they were doing their bid for the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where of course they're both into it. Now let's look into this and see what is actually said here. And it reveals who actually was the one that we hear on that pilot flight. And if you ever hear the tape of it, it does ironically sound exactly like Kurt Russell or somebody that has that radio type voice or things. Listen.
Be able to help me, and this may be, who knows? Because this is an international story. Because of you both being here, I looked into the international files. Not covered by our Ministry of Defense, but maybe covered by yours. This took place in Arizona. An unidentified pilot, according to the press cuttings, flying near an airport in Arizona with his son when he spotted 6 lights in the night sky. So he called from the aeroplane to air traffic control to say, I'm seeing these lights here. I wasn't expecting any other planes. They're none supposed to be on my landing path. Can you tell me what's going on? They said there are no other planes. He said, I'm seeing 6 bright lights coming towards me. Mystery unresolved. Except,
tail number for that plane was Bonanza 2 Tango Sierra, and I was the pilot. No way. Oliver and I.
Yes, tape is back. Doesn't say that in the briefing.
Oliver and I
Should have read to the end.
Oliver and I were flying in. I was flying him to go see his girlfriend, and we were on approach, and I saw 6 lights over the airport in absolute uniform in a V shape, and Oliver said to me, I was just looking at him and I was coming in. We're maybe a half a mile out, and Oliver said, "Pop, what are those lights?" And I then it kind of like came out of my reverie, and I said, "I don't know what they are." I said, he said, "Are we okay here?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna call him," and I reported it. And they said, "We're not painting anything. We don't show anything." I said, "Well, okay, I'm going to declare it's unidentified. It's flying, and it's 6 objects." Mm-hmm. We landed. I taxied, dropped him off, took off, went back to L.A. Never said a word. He never said a word. I never thought of it. 2 years later, Goldie is watching a television show when I came home. Yeah. And the show is on UFOs. But as I came home, "Hey, honey, how's it going?" And I'm kind of hearing the TV going, and I stopped and I started watching, and it was on that event. Now, that was the most viewed UFO event. Over 20,000 people saw that. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching this, and I'm feeling like Richard Dreyfuss in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's like, why do I know this? What? And it's not clear to me. And finally, I said. Then they said the pilot reported it. A general aviation pilot reported it on landing. I'd never thought of it since then, and I said, "That was me. That was me." And I said, "Wait a minute. I'll go to my logbooks." So I went to my logbooks, and there was the flight at that time, and I didn't mention anything about the UFO. The fascinating part of that to me is that it just went literally out of my head, and Oliver never mentioned it. And had I not seen that show, I'd have never thought of it again. And that, to me, was the weird part.
Believe it now, Chris?
Yes.
Yes.
It's just unidentified. It's flying, and it's an object. It's an object. Yeah. Right. Moving towards you at this.
We need to move on, Jeff.
Isn't that odd?